It's so exciting to have everybody here. We have founders and founders' children, our founding board chair is here. All of our dignitaries and political leaders are here. Our board members are here. We have patients here. You know, Faith Community Pharmacy was founded 20 years ago with a simple idea that nobody should go without life-saving medication just because they can't afford it. And unfortunately, that problem only continues to get worse, and it continues to be more and more out of reach for so many people. And as we continue that legacy that was laid down 20 years ago and we plan for the next 20 years, relocating to a space that could not only accommodate the size of the growth, but put us in a community with great partners and be able to have access to our friends that are the working poor that often need this service the most is really important to us. And so we are so excited to be here in Campbell County and Newport. We're so excited to be in this building. We've tripled the size of our pharmacy. We plan on doing additional outreach because we want to make sure that everybody knows there's an option. And so having all of you here today is so important too, to spread that word, because we know that there are people right down the street that are going into a pharmacy today and their pharmacist is telling them it's going to be $500 and they know they can't afford it and they think there's just nothing I can do. And unfortunately next week they're going to be in the ER as a result. And that just should never happen. And so we are so grateful and honored that we get to do this work, and we are so grateful that you're all here today. So thank you all so much for coming.
Looks like our mayor's not going to make it this morning.
Okay,
so
sounds good.
On behalf of the city and our mayor, Tom Gajuli, Vice Mayor Frank Peluso, on behalf of the County Fiscal Court represented by Tom Lampy, Jeff, and Will Schroeder, all the, quote, political dignitaries, we want to welcome you to Newport.
Thanks.
I have a fondness for this agency. Some guy named Bill Cleaves called me one day, and he said, Ken, we need some board members on something called St. Vincent de Paul Community Pharmacy. Bill's here, and I'd love to hear him say a few things about the origination. Rosanna Ite, who was a wonderful person, made some promises to God, and she fulfilled those promises and did a wonderful job. So I love serving on the board, and I love the mission, and we welcome you to the city.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, please, would you like to share something? We would love that.
I left the administration of Thomas More in 2001. I had a sabbatical all planned. I was going back to Europe to spend a year there and study. And Rosanna called me and she said, you don't need that sabbatical. Here's what you need to do. And so I canceled the sabbatical. And we met for the first few months in Dr. Kunith's office. And at one point we had decided that we needed $400 more if we were to go forward. And we just started passing the hat around the table. Every time it got around the table, we counted it. And it stopped when we reached $400. And we haven't looked back since. It's been a wonderful thing. I remember I was living in Covington at the time. I was at the Walgreens near 10th and Madison, and a woman asked, how many days of heart pills does $25 get me? And that was right after Rosanna had talked to me, and I said, I can't go to Europe. We've got to get this thing off the ground. So Rosanna Ite, Mary Beth Beamish, Ken, Dr. Art Kunith, so many others helped us, Paul Haney, and we got it started. We started very slowly. We started out in Crescent Springs, moved to Florence, but I suppose it's always been the dream that we needed to be somewhere in the inner city. So I was the first chair of the board. I got to serve for 5 years when the Vatican called me, and then I did have to leave. But always been a supporter, always proud of Aaron and what everybody's been doing. It's been just wonderful. And Rosanna, we know, died of cancer, but up till her last breath, she and I were talking about this pharmacy. This was her passion, and I think we need to remember how she quite really sacrificed her life for the good of the community.
Is everybody ready with cameras? 3, 2, 1, cut.
Everybody is invited and welcome to stay for lunch if you're able. If you're not, we totally understand. Just thank you all so much. We are going to continue to do great things in Northern Kentucky, and this is going to be one of the healthiest communities in America because of our partnerships. So thank you all.